I, 39M, recently connected with a woman, 37F, and, at 96 hours I'm not sure if things are progressing at a healthy pace considering our differences, or if this situation is more normal than I'm thinking and I'm just being avoidant. Maybe what y'all will have to tell me will be pretty obvious, but I want to type it out and organize my thoughts anyhow, and maybe one of you will articulate what should be obvious in a way I haven't thought of yet. TLDR. Hit it off with a nice lady that left a note on my windshield, met her family, kind of crazy on a first date, and shared some great chemistry, but, despite not believing in it herself, she's more comfortable with her family's religion than I am. She really likes me and is kind of hung-ho about us, and I'm worried we're heading into things too fast and I'm getting cold feet about it. I went on a hike a couple weeks ago, and a woman in a group I passed noticed me and managed to pick out my car in the parking lot and left me a note with her number on my windshield. We texted for a bit and met up for a hike and tacos and really hit it off, even though I think we did find some pretty important differences between us. Her family, who had encouraged her to leave the note on my car, was in town on the day of our hiking date and had to leave on a bit of a short notice since they'd been caught in the CrowdStrike delays. So I decided we should take the tacos to go and want to see her family off, and her brothers and sisters could get a better look at the guy they encouraged their sister to connect with. It just seemed in this situation that it would be appropriate to close that circle, haha. After that we went back to my place for some cuddles, which lead to a mutual indulgence in spicier chemistry. And again, this, despite some very explicitly stated differences we found between us while talking throughout the day. Some notes on our differences. We both come from Mormon backgrounds and no longer believe in the Mormon Church. In her case, leaving had more to do with societal inequalities / restrictiveness, etc. She's still able to be very close with her Mormon family, a lot of whom are pretty relaxed / cool about it. They're the kind of Mormons you might find outside of Utah, who have to blend in with normal society on account of not being the majority demographic in an area. And on the hike she was laughing about how she was on the edge of going back to being an active Mormon. For the community, for herself and any kids she may have, on her terms this time. She's of a mind to take what she can get from it, since it took so much of her time / life. As for me, my family situation is more volatile. I'm not so close with many of them. They are more extreme in their beliefs, and the reasons I left are much more personal and lead me to reevaluate religion entirely. I just want nothing to do with the Mormon Church, and I want nothing from it, and stated explicitly at one point in the conversation on our date that I had no intention of letting anyone teach any child I may have that they need of any religion. Despite these differences, that we are pretty close to ideological / values alignment. A lot of this was discussed at the surface level, kind of casually on our hike, as much as one could say these topics are casual. But after I dropped her off in the morning, I was recognizing to myself that we hadn't known each other for even 24 hours yet, and decided I wanted to be sure we were on the same page about not making long-term decisions or creating unhealthy attachments based on a night of passion, to make sure we're actually going to take the time needed to get to know each other and navigate our actual compatibility. And I opened this conversation up when I went over to her place and saw her a couple nights later. During this conversation, she kind of backpedaled on the going back to church thing and said, if I'm understanding right, that she was being willfully contrarian to see if I allowed her the freedom to make that decision for herself. I did know that she was in town working on assignment out from where she lives on the East Coast for about 3 months, but after I brought up this conversation, she's saying she wants to take this 3-month period to figure out her life, which she clarified to mean she wants to see if she can find or create reasons to move out here. That's all well and good, but after just one date, I'm not sure I'm ready to be a major subject of evaluation for that decision, and that's what feels like is happening. I definitely prefer to take time building attachment in a relationship to ensure we both really do like each other for who we are, and not let external things, i.e. deadlines / initial physical chemistry, pressure us into skipping critical parts of starting or deciding to start and develop a relationship. She has said she's kind of obsessed with me after noticing a lot of traits she looks for in a man, explaining how she sees in me a lot of the kind of man I would want to describe myself as, the person I want and strive to be, but I'm not sure I always live up to. And I'm not sure someone can really say that about me after only 3 days, and is sort of concerned that I don't seem as obsessed with her as she is with me, probably based on me wanting to have this conversation at all. It's a bit confusing because we're able to talk about these things very clearly and have been able to make each other feel very safe in expressing how we feel about our situations and goals. And we've both been so very open. The way we communicate is something we both are feeling very green flaggy about, if you will. And we continued the conversation yesterday when she came over again to bring me chili and supplies to take care of the cold we both apparently caught on our date, and added further details and clarity on where each of us are at. I'm just not sure I'm comfortable being this cared for this quickly, and I'm not sure it's realistic, and wondering if I'm the subject of an unhealthy love bombing run, or if maybe I've just been trying to rationalize an avoidant feeling. She seems like such an engaging, sweet, and open and communicative person, and I feel like I'd like to parse out the compatibility of our situations / build into and explore the potential for a relationship here. If only doing so did not feel constrained by the timeline of her decision to move out here. And if I didn't feel like making the decision too quickly risked me being pulled back into the orbit of the world of Mormonism that has already consumed so much of my life.